This is one capable mom car. I'll include a link to the Super Ford and Salt Lake's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this Explorer Tremor. Let's get right into it. Under the hood is a turbo 2.3 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 10-speed, fuel economy's 19 around town, 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 300 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. We're closing in on 500,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Just like other Explorers, you got the giant Explorer badge, but the hood is boxy, raised there on either side. Sharp-looking headlights, and just like other Tremors, you've got some gold trim there on the front end. The Ford logo's been kind of blacked out, but then you also have the chrome still. We have recovery points, fog lights, and is that real? Is that real? My goodness, it is. That will cap things off for the front end of this new Tremor. 265 by 65 by 18 is the tire and wheel setup. So not massive tires, but you know, at least a decent amount of sidewall. And just like other Tremors, notice that the valve stem has the gold around it to let you know that's where you fill up the tire with air. And then taking a look at the side profile, the all-terrain tires, the blacked out wheels do give this a bit more of an aggressive stance. When it comes to key fob features, we've got the Ford logo there on the back. On the front face, we have our lock, unlock, remote start, and then the opening for the hatch. Now popping into the back, you got a little bit of storage underneath the floor there. These buttons are pretty cool. So you'll note that you can raise and lower the third row with those little buttons. And behind the third row, you actually do get some storage. And yes, the whole seat system does fold down flat, which is always a nice thing to have. When you're all done, just whoop. Got the new taillight design, Tremor badge there on the back, and then you've got more gold trim. That will cap things off for the exterior of this Explorer. Let's now check out the interior. Now take a look at the door panel, lots of soft touch. I do like the gold stitching here too. Tremor there, and then notice perforated all down the center portion. You do have manual adjustments for the second row and captain chairs in this one. Legroom's pretty good. Storage pocket, we've got our own climate zone, heated seats, USB port, outlet there as well. Man, these seats are actually really comfy. I do like them. And then the third row is for Oompa Loompas. The Explorer doesn't have a great third row when it comes to space, but they at least get some vents up top. Keyless entry for up front, and let's check it out. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. You've got memory seats with this. All your window controls, mirror adjustments, and then more of that soft touch trim. Tremor on the front seat. Again, perforated all down the center. Power adjustments on the side with lumbar support, and look at that, 1,000 pounds of payload. The passenger seat's also power adjustable with lumbar support. Start up the Tremor. Now take a look at the steering wheel, perforated on either side. You got nice gold trim in the center, paddles on the back, practical controls for the center stack. You also have your phone controls, voice command controls, volume controls, and then cruise control there on the left side. Digital gauge cluster here in the center, which will give you a little drive mode thing. Let's see if it has, so it just has an off-road mode. Huh. Interesting. So they keep it simple, it looks like. 360 camera system with this, good resolution with the whole camera. And then a lot is built into the screen. Response time's quick. The climate controls are here at the bottom. This version has heated and ventilated seats, which is definitely a nice addition. It responds quickly, but yeah, it's a little bit annoying to have everything built into the screen there. Hill descent controls even in the screen. That is kind of crazy. So we've got some physical buttons for like the radio volume, your auto stop, start, parking assist, for the camera, auto hold as well. And then kind of our little storage area there. And then we've got some USB ports just down below. And then cup holders behind all of that. Dial shifter there for the transmission, your drive mode select. And then with the center console, it's got more charge. It's got 12 volt, it looks like. A little bit of storage. Nice trim on the top, and there's more nice trim across the dash. No center with this one. So 2026 Explorer Tremor, and this one's with the 2.3. I'll get a video on the 3.0 sometime in the near future. 54,280. Let's see how this Tremor performs. So this has a limited slip rear differential, so it's not, you know, the same as a selectable locker. I mean, look at it kind of like the G80 that Chevy does with a lot of their trucks. So what that means off-road is like, yeah, you'll still be able to get that extra grip by the rear end being able to lock, but you're gonna have to spin a little bit. So that's gonna kind of change things. And you know, this is lifted by about an inch roughly compared to a regular Explorer. It's kind of hard to tell, Doesn't look too different. But yeah, that's all supposed to help out with the clearance and everything. And it's got off-road tuned suspension. What I can tell you is it still just drives kind of like a regular Explorer. Still has that, yeah, still unibody, still independent suspension. So when you go over bumps, it doesn't move the vehicle as much as you would with like, oh, that's not gonna work, with like a solid axle. But you feel it in a different way. It goes through it ripples through the chassis, right? That's what happens with unibody and independent suspension. You hit a bump and then that part of the suspension goes up, so then the body doesn't move all that much, but then the body takes the impact in a somewhat of a substantial way. It's not uncomfortable though. And again, I don't think that Ford's expecting people to be taking this off-road all the time like they would with a Bronco. This is kind of more of a off-road every so often, you know. It's that soft roader category where it's more for camping trails, dirt roads, that, you know, you're gonna have maybe a rut here or there, and so having the limited slip means you'll have tons of confidence because you're not going to get stuck. And then, you know, the all-terrain tires also help out with that as well. So that's kind of where I see it. Now the 2.3 is a great engine. It's got good torque. It's smooth with the 10-speed. Be interesting to see how this feels with the 3.0. I will say that I think that this does feel a little bit slower compared to like I just reviewed an ST line the other week, and that has the same 2.3, same power outputs and everything, and I felt a little bit quicker. So I think the tires and maybe even the lift kind of caused a little bit of power loss. A little bit of power loss. But yeah, not bad at all. I mean, this wouldn't, this road's kind of bumpy. This wouldn't be too bad over somewhat rough terrain, but like over really rough terrain, unibody does kind of fall apart. It gets kind of crashy and everything. It's not exactly what you're wanting in terms of, I guess, isolation from the road. Always got to make sure and see if someone's actually turning in Utah. It's got torque though. Certainly does. Pretty darn smooth. I like this car. I think they've done a good job with this, actually. It's kind of a fun little package. And, you know, this seems... Brakes. This seems to be a package that kind of feels a little more hardcore than what Chevy's offering with the Traverse C71. Especially having an actual metal plate underneath. But then when you compare this to Jeep, it's not really in the same playing field, because Jeep with the, I mean, they don't really do a Trailhawk with the Grand Cherokee L, but with the regular Grand Cherokee they do the Trailhawk, and that thing's like insane off-road. It's got adjustable air suspension, but it's also 70 grand, so it's like not as appealing because it's so darn expensive. And also the new Grand Cherokee is gonna have a stupid 4-cylinder turbo. That's it. 4-cylinder turbo, 4-cylinder turbo hybrid. Gosh, people at Jeep are being just dumb. At least Ford still gives you a real engine, right? Turbo V6. So that's the Explorer Tremor. It gives you, you know, more off-road. Man, I cannot see a darn thing. There we go. It gives you more off-road performance than what a regular Explorer would give you, but don't think this is a Bronco. It's not a Bronco. Still a soft roader. Doesn't have a low range. I mean, you can it's got a manual mode, so you can lock it into first gear, which will give you kind of more of a low range-ish feel. But yeah, it doesn't have a true low range, so this is still not a, it's a mommy mall crawler, but it's a cool one.